Fishing Select Pro, Casey Scanlon here. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about fishing a jig, some different things I do with the jig that's going to help you get more bites throughout the day. So first of all, let's talk about the jig I'm using. This is a 5/8 ounce jig. It's a jig that I designed. I like to use a heavy jig no matter if I'm fishing shallow or fishing deep. I've put a rattle band on this jig. It has a double collar so you can add a rattle. And when I'm fishing shallow, I like to add a rattle, especially in dirty water conditions. It's going to help you attract more fish to that bait. Let them see that bait and they'll come from a longer way to eat it. So what I'm doing with this jig when I'm fishing shallow, just like always, I'm going to try to find a good visible piece of cover, and I'm going to throw that jig up to that piece of cover. So as you can see on this bank, it's really, really shallow, and we got some shallow logs up here. So what I'll do is I'll throw that jig up to those trees, those logs on the bank, visible cover, whether it's a boat dock, whatever. I'll work that jig through the laydown, whatever cover's visible, and then now I have that jig in open water. And this is where the technique's a little bit different. I'm going to snap that jig all the way back to the boat. That rattle's going to be rattling. It's going to attract the fish to the bait. And it's really good in between pieces of cover. Say you got laydowns that are stretched out, 50 yards apart, and you got some open water. You don't have to pick up another bait. You can just take that jig and really just snap it in this shallow water. And it's going to pull a reaction strike from those fish that are relating loose to the cover, that aren't pulled up on a piece of structure, and it's going to help you get a few more bites throughout the day. So it's a really good reaction technique. Not a lot of people do it. It's just something a little bit different these fish don't see, and it's going to help you generate some more bites when you're not fishing visible cover. The other technique that I like to do with this same exact jig is I'll do something real similar when I'm fishing deep. So say I got a ledge, 30, 40 feet of water, throw it out there, I'll work it through the sweet spot, whether that's a brush pile, rock pile, whatever. So I'll work that jig through the sweet spot on the bottom, just crawl it along, just your regular jig technique. And then when I get free from that cover, whether it's off the edge of a drop or whatever in open water, I'll actually reel that jig really fast back to the boat and then kill it. And then I'll reel it fast and kill it. So I'll do that 4 or 5 times all the way back to the boat, and that's going to help you get some extra bites throughout the day. I've noticed that a lot of times when I'm fishing a jig out deep, when I throw it out there and I just reel it back to the boat to make another cast, I'll get a lot of fish following it. So when you throw it out there, make that cast to the ledge, I always like to do that retrieve. So I'll reel that jig back and just reel it and kill it the whole way back to the boat. So when you're fishing a jig, make sure you try to use some of these reaction techniques. It's going to help you get a few more extra bites throughout the day. Doing those aggressive high hopping techniques or reeling it and killing it back to the boat, it's going to get some of those inactive fish to bite. A lot of times those reaction strikes are going to be your bigger fish. So try these different techniques. The next time you're out fishing a jig, you're going to get a lot more bites. It's going to help you put a few extra fish in the boat throughout the day that might make the difference in your tournament success.